welcome to my next video. In this video, we will be talking about how much to save for your retirement. This video is part of a series of videos on retirement. But first, what I say in this video is based upon my education, my life experiences, and my set of values. What I say is for typical people in typical situations. It is not for all people in all situations. If it was, this video would be hours or even days long. My goal and hope is that by the end of this video, you will know more about retirement so that you can make better decisions for your life. As we talked about in other videos on this channel, when you save for retirement, you are deciding to spend money on future you rather than today's you. The goal in this is to get you the biggest happiness over your entire life for both future you and today's you. Saving and spending is a trade-off. And guess who is the best person in the world to decide that trade-off? That's right, you. No outside financial expert understands you and what is important to you and how you feel better than you. So, how much do you save for your retirement? Well, that depends on how many years you plan to live on your savings and how much money you want every year from those savings. There is, of course, the inevitable rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is 25 times. 25 times. You need to save 25 times the amount of money you want every year from your savings. For example, if you want $1,000 a year every year from your savings, you would need to save 25 times that, or $25,000. With that $25,000, you can take out $1,000 a year every year, increase for inflation for up to 30 years. Why 30 years? Well, the classic retirement age in the United States is 65 years old. If you add 30 years to 65 years, that gets you to 95 years old. When this rule of thumb first appeared in the 1990s, the thinking was that 95 years old, that's enough. That should be enough for almost everyone. Another way of describing this same rule of thumb is that you use a withdrawal rate of 4%. So if you have $25,000, you can withdraw 4% of that, or $1,000 a year, every year, increased for inflation. Regardless of how you describe this rule of thumb, 25 times or 4%, this rule of thumb, like a lot of rule of thumbs, is better than nothing most of the time for most of us. So, once again, how much do you save for your retirement? Your options to calculate this are to use a fairly simple method like the rule of thumb, or to use a more complicated method. Why would anyone ever use a more complicated method? Because if you use a more complicated method, you might not have to save as much. What if you want to use a more complicated method so you don't have to save as much? There are a variety of complicated methods out there. From my point of view, the best of these is from the groundbreaking article called Decision Rules and Maximum Initial Withdrawal Rates. Before you search for this article online, please note I said groundbreaking article. I did not say clearest article or easiest to read article or even easiest to understand article. If you do look up that article, good luck. Also, more helpfully, if you do look up that article, I suggest you focus on tables 7 and 6 in that article, depending on whether you plan to live off your savings for 30 years or 40 years. The way I read that article about this complicated method, if your savings go down a lot from bad investment returns, the amount you get every year can also go down from $1,000 to $900. That's bad. On the other hand, if your savings go up a lot from good investment returns, the amount you can get every year can also go up from $1,000 to $1,100 a year. That's good. The article also says that if you want $1,000 a year every year from your savings, you should save very roughly 17 to 19 times that amount, or very roughly $17,000 to $19,000. That is a whole lot less than the $25,000 that you would save under the simple rule of thumb. So, finally, how much do you save for retirement? That's a tough question to answer. Before you can answer that question, you have to answer a lot of other questions. When are you going to retire? How long do you plan to live after you retire? What will be your after-retirement lifestyle costs? How much of those costs will you pay for by things other than savings? Things such as part-time work, reverse mortgage, Social Security payments. How much of your lifestyle costs will you pay for every year from your savings? Will you use a simple or more complicated method to decide how much you save? As we talked about in a prior video, ultimately for your retirement, you can save too much or you can save too little. There are many different parts of your life to think about, but when it comes to just the retirement part of your life, you may want to consider saving too much. In this video, we learn more about how much to save for your retirement. This is the third video in a 3-part series of videos on retirement. If you want to learn more, be sure to check out the other videos in this series, my playlist on retirement, and videos on other topics. Until the next video, always remember that you are the best person in the world to decide what is important in your life. Thank you for watching. Please click the button to subscribe. I hope that you got something from this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment. Please check out my channel, playlists, and other videos. Have a great day.